afternoon. Thanks for joining us here on CTV News at 5. More witnesses took the stand in a Brantford courtroom today in the second-degree murder trial of Elfgard Outred. Elfgard is accused of killing her husband Gordon in November 2022. Today's testimonies helped the Crown set the scene for the morning of the murder. Court heard from Gordon's ex-wife, Joan Thack, who said she's known Elfgard for decades. Thack testified she saw Elfgard drive past her house around 9:15 that morning, questioning why the elderly woman would be driving in the thick fog. An OPP analyst and a close friend of the victim also took the stand this afternoon. CTV's Alexandra Hollick will bring us more on that testimony tonight at 6. A Cambridge councillor is raising concerns about what she calls the hidden cost of doing business in the city. She shared a photo showing piles of stripped wires in a wooded area. She says the materials are often stolen from local businesses, leaving them to deal with costly damage and taxpayers to cover cleanup.
It's the cost of the damage that is so upsetting. The copper wire, there's a small cost to that, but it's the other damage that is incurred when the thefts occur.
CTV's Spencer Turcotte brings us the full story in the next hour. And a major shakeup today for local government. The province announcing there will be no more elected regional chairs. They will instead be appointing a chair. The changes will come into effect after the municipal election in the fall of this year. The appointed chair of the region will also be given strong chair powers, similar to strong mayor powers, which allow the head of council to pass motions more efficiently. The new system will not impact council or mayoral races at the city level. Kitchener Mayor Barry Vibranovic says he remains a supporter of local elected leadership.
I think from my own personal perspective, I'd say, I've been someone who has dedicated his life to local government, and I've always been deeply committed to strong local representation and really making sure that whether at the city or at the region, we're delivering high quality services to our residents.
CTV News reached out to current chair Karen Redmond, who is unavailable for an interview, but in a statement said she is proud to serve as the chair of the region and looks forward to continue to work with the province this term. We'll bring you more details tonight at 6. For now, let's take a look at our weather forecast. Ashley is away tonight, so we're going to get right to it with our current satellite and radar. As you can see, that system continuing to make its way across southern, southwestern, and pushing towards eastern Ontario this hour, with it bringing heavy amounts of rain at times. For some communities, freezing rain. For others, drizzle, snowfall even, and we're likely going to see some embedded thunder showers push their way through overnight this evening as well. Looking at upwards of about 8 to 10 millimeters of localized rainfall over the next 24 hours or so here in Waterloo Region. Some communities seeing more. We're going to talk more about that a little bit later on in the full forecast. Temperature-wise in KW, it's just 1 degree right now. Winds out of the east, gusting upwards of about 22 kilometers an hour. And let's take a live look outside. And as you can see, the river water moving quite fast tonight as well. Beautiful shot in the cloudy, dreary conditions that are upon us for this Easter long weekend. We'll find out what's in store for yours in the full forecast a little bit later on. As we head to break, we'll tell you what you need to know. An exceptional Easter egg hunt happening at the St. Jacobs Farmers Market this weekend. You can explore the farmyard for eggs, with hunts happening at 9, 10, and 11 on Saturday morning. The Easter Bunny even set to make an appearance. Stay with us. It's been 50 years since Ontario first passed its seatbelt law, requiring everyone in a vehicle to buckle up. Despite years of enforcement and safety warnings, some people still aren't following the rules. CTV's Angela Gemmel reports.
It takes only seconds to snap in a seatbelt, but even after 50 years, it's a safety measure provincial police still have to enforce.
Most motorists are aware of the risks of not wearing a seatbelt, and OPP says compliance is high.
In general, I think it's stats show that most people do, or most drivers do, or most vehicle occupants do.
However, across Ontario last year, OPP laid a total of 13,560 charges to those not wearing a seatbelt. Also in 2025, 41 of the total road fatalities investigated by the OPP, not wearing a seatbelt was a contributing factor.
Saves not only lives, but serious injuries at times as well. So it just prevents occupants from being either ejected or possibly getting injured even more severely inside the vehicle during a collision.
Thibault says parents need to make sure children are buckled up and in the right car seat for their weight, height, or age.
By doing so, not only you're protecting yourself, but you're also ensuring that there's no tragedies and your family doesn't have to deal with the aftermath of you usually losing your life over not wearing a seatbelt.
This Easter weekend, OPP will be conducting the annual seatbelt campaign, checking that drivers and passengers are buckled up.
Please ensure you are wearing your seatbelt the way it was designed to be worn. Not under your arm and not behind your back. Both of those variations can result in you receiving a ticket for wearing your seatbelt improperly.
In Ontario, failing to wear a seatbelt carries a fine of between $200 and $1,000 plus 2 demerit points. Other consequences could be more deadly. Angela Gemmell, CTV News, Sudbury.
And the gas price roller coaster continues for drivers. Prices have increased by roughly 7 cents over the past 2 days, though a drop is expected tomorrow. CTV's Beth McDonnell has the latest.
Filling up a long hauler with diesel costs a lot more than it used to.
We're in crisis. We are definitely in a crisis mode. It has been really unprecedented.
Pinnacle Transport Limited, based out of Scarborough, makes 1,500 deliveries a day, mostly of food, with its 350 trucks on the road in the GTA, and all of them run on diesel. While a fuel surcharge is built in to cover costs, diesel prices nowadays go beyond it. The company says if diesel prices continue to soar, business won't be sustainable.
Our spend currently, with the diesel prices being as high as they are, is about $500,000 more per month. So it's a huge, huge, huge impact to us.
Diesel touches everything. It's the global workhorse, and no economy functions without it.
Dan McTague with Canadians for Affordable Energy says it's vital not only to transport goods on trucks, but also used for trains and jets, in agriculture and heating oil. He warns with the Strait of Hormuz basically shut and the war ongoing, diesel costs will keep climbing alongside the price of gas. Compare, he says, at the end of February, when gas was $1.67 a litre. Now it's around $1.84. While diesel was about $1.60 a litre, it's now around $2.20 a litre.
If things continue, prices could be back at $2 a litre here in Toronto in the very short period of time, probably the next week or so. And diesel, again, pushing up to $2.40 on Saturday. These are prices we have never, ever seen in our history for diesel.
We meet on a daily basis and discuss the price and where it's trending.
Adding to the difficulties, Pinnacle says the refrigeration on its trucks also requires diesel. Any break on tax or subsidies from government are welcome to manage.
Anything is going to help at this point. And I think, it's a crisis for us as a business, but those extra diesel prices, the extra cost, eventually gets passed on to the consumer.
It says with diesel prices so high, consumers could see the prices of other goods go up within a couple of weeks.
And that was CTV's Beth McDonnell reporting. Okay, stay with us. We have more news ahead. And before you go, here's what you need to know. Downtown Cambridge's annual Easter egg hunt returns this weekend. Pick up your map at Encore Threads and Treasures and enjoy sweet stops at more than 30 participating businesses. The event runs Saturday from 11 to 2. Another wet, dreary, rainy day out there in Waterloo Region and for many across southern and southwestern Ontario. As we approach the Easter long weekend, it was certainly feeling quite cool out there today too. Now, some communities are under a rainfall warning tonight into Friday. We'll take a look at those warnings in place. And we aren't under it here in Waterloo Region. However, some communities north of the region are under that warning for us tonight, including those in Wyerton through Tobermory and southern Georgian Bay as well. We'll take a live look outside first and see what is going on from Schneider Park this hour. As you can see, the river flowing quite quickly tonight, and there are some flood watches and warnings in place by the Grand River Conservation Authority if you want to take a look at their website and see if your community is under one of those tonight. But as always, just approach the riverbanks with caution, especially this time of year. Okay, now let's take a look at those rainfall warnings we were talking about. Areas through the Bruce Peninsula, Sauble Beach, Tobermory, under that rainfall warning by Environment Canada tonight. You can see northern and eastern portions of the province are under it as well, looking at anywhere from 30 to 50 millimeters of rainfall, possible thunder showers as well. This will be in place through to Friday morning. Now, just because we're not under it here in Waterloo Region does not mean that we are out of the woods. We're going to talk about all that rainfall in just a bit. But first, let's take a look at our almanac and see our temperatures for today. Now, we topped out with just a high of 1 degree, just slightly above the freezing mark, and it's well below seasonal for this time of year. Usually we're hovering around that 8-degree mark. It just goes to show that temperature and roller coaster that we have been on, that is spring. We're kind of getting used to it by now, I think. Okay, we just warmed up 1 degree. It's 2 degrees locally this hour. Some communities actually holding on to the double digits. Through Sarnia, it's 11. In the Windsor, Essex area, it is 10 degrees this hour. Now, the wind chill is playing a factor. Feels closer to -3 in Waterloo Region as we approach the 5:30 p.m. mark. Overnight, though, temperatures are actually going to warm up. We're looking at an overnight low of 7 degrees. We do have a risk to see some thunderstorms as we get into the evening and overnight hours, and we are already seeing that fog start to build up outside. A little bit of mist out there as well this hour. Tomorrow, temperatures just continue to rise. 21 degrees, the forecast high. It won't be a complete washout here locally, but we are going to see some shower activity, certainly, and fairly gusty winds. So even if you're making your way outside, when we're not seeing that rainfall, keep in mind those wind speeds will be upwards of about 60 kilometers an hour. Okay, here's how things play out. So that system really continuing to push through. That's where we've seen some of that rainfall throughout the day today. And as you can see with it, bringing some embedded thunder showers through Waterloo Region, through the GTA, pushing east towards Peterborough as well. Here's a snapshot of Friday afternoon. The rainfall should dissipate ever so slightly as we get into the evening as well. A little bit of mixed cloud cover overnight into Saturday. Looking at 8 to 10 millimeters of rainfall over the next 24 hours or so here locally. And a look at your 5-day forecast and your Easter long weekend. Temperatures hang on through Saturday with a high of 16 degrees. And they fall off overnight Saturday into Sunday. Sunday's high just 3 degrees. And by Easter Monday, we could be set to see some snowfall depending on where temperatures end up falling. Now, we have been seeing some snow melt as well, and it's revealing some leftovers from last fall. The city of Cambridge is cleaning up leaves from the roadways again this week, something they typically get done in the fall. But as CTV's Colton Weens tells us, this past winter changed all of that.
It's usually an activity for the fall in Cambridge, but this week, city crews are busy cleaning up leftover leaves from local roads. All because the wicked winter that started in fall and seemed to never end.
Typically what happens is first snowfall arrives and then the snow goes away and we have some nice weather days, so we can go back and resume the leaf pickup. That was not fall of 2025.
The city says they don't typically do leaf pickup during this time of the year, but because of the early snowfall in November, they're left picking up some extra leaves now in the spring.
The community would look not so beautiful, which we are very proud of. That's one part. These leaves end up in top of the storm crates and cause the flooding issues. So either residents or the city have to pick up the leaves and clear them out.
Shaw says crews are now prioritizing areas that didn't get loose leaf pickup in the fall and will respond to any other problem areas based on complaints.
We continued in between end of the November, but again, With the heavy winter, we had to pause it completely.
Shaw expects leaf pickup will take about 2 or 3 more weeks. Adding residents with extra leaves on their properties can also beg them for pickup from the region or leave them on their lawn either fully intact or mulched.
That encourages pollination and bees and whatnot. So that's a much more natural way of dealing with leaves, as opposed to having a 3 or 4 city equipment comes and picks up the way we are currently doing. It's not a sustainable way. We're doing it, but it's not sustainable.
The cities of Kitchener and Waterloo both tell CTV News their respective leaf collection programs were completed in the fall and won't be back out this spring. Colton Weens, CTV News, Cambridge.
A feat of engineering has saved a piece of Ontario's rural history. A 140-year-old timber frame barn is being restored after being lifted from its foundation. CTV's Scott Miller has the details.
Brent Weigel proudly looks on as a piece of his family's history is restored near Mild May.
This barn's been in the family since early 1900s. I think 1901 our family bought it, and we had some sentimental value in the property and the buildings, and the structure was too good to tear down and decommission and just sell as parts.
So with a crumbling stone foundation, Weigel called in Larry Waddell of Waddell Engineering to find out if moving the 140-year-old timber frame, initially constructed in the 1880s, was possible. It was, and on March 23rd, a 210-ton crane was brought in to lift the 42,000-pound timber frame structure onto a brand new foundation.
This frame was a good candidate just because it was and kept in good shape over the years, where a lot of these barns are starting to deteriorate too far and they're not worth it, right?
There's not too many have been done this way. If any, I'm not sure. So it was a bit of a gamble to lift it up, and if it fell apart, I guess. It was worth the risk.
While a massive crane was used to move the barn from its original foundation last month, Waddell believes when it was built in the 1880s, the huge wooden beams would have been lifted in place by hand with the help of horses. All the wood to make the barn would have been harvested from a nearby bush lot.
This one was pretty unique, where it had 12 by 12 by 72 feet long timbers in it. They're all old growth that came from this farm. And so to see a 72-foot long timber is pretty crazy to begin with. And to see it 12 inches and true the whole way, so you knew that had to be from a pretty big tree back then.
Weigel says once the roof and siding are reinstalled, the 140-year-old barn will be used to store heavy machinery for his drainage business, a modern-day use for a salvaged piece of family history.
Like most of these barns are unusable or not in good enough shape to be able to move them. This one's luckily in good enough shape and held up structurally to swing it over onto a new foundation. Yeah. Now it's going to last another 100 years or more.
Near Mildmay, Scott Miller, CTV News.
And still ahead on CTV News at 5, a bright spot in Kitchener. We get a look inside the Sunshine Lounge and find out how it's helping young adults living with dementia. Next.
Explosive rhythm, percussion, dance, theater, comedy, and more. CTV Kitchener is giving you the chance to experience the global phenomenon Stomp live at Center in the Square on April 17th. Enter now for your chance to win tickets at ctvkitchener.ca.
Here's the final 5 stories we're keeping an eye on. The Aberfoyle Mill in Puslinch is closing its doors. An announcement about the closure was posted to the restaurant's website. The owner told CTV News the business has become unsustainable since the pandemic. More than 30 people worked at Aberfoyle Mill. The owner says he's not sure what the future will hold, but retirement could be a possibility. Toys R Us Canada has been granted court permission to put itself up for sale. A judge has approved a process which will see the retailer solicit investments in the company or choose a buyer for the business or its assets by June. The retailer did not outline what it will be selling, but has stated in court records that its assets are valued at $126 million. Toys R Us Canada filed for creditor protection in February to address mounting debts and lawsuits from suppliers and landlords. Auto sales saw a significant drop last month. DeRosier Automotive Consultants says about 170,000 vehicles were sold across Canada in March. That represents a more than 8% slump compared to the same month in 2025. DeRosier managing partner Andrew King says high gas prices have added even more financial stress for Canadian consumers, in addition to the challenges posed by a year of tariff tensions with the U.S. The report says harsh winter weather also kept shoppers away from dealerships. A new study is raising questions about dementia risk and why diet recommendations on that front might not apply to everyone. A large-scale Harvard University study published last year linked processed red meat consumption to a higher risk of dementia alongside other health concerns. But this new research out of Sweden focused on a particular subset of adults who had genetic profiles common among Alzheimer's disease patients. Among those particular individuals, the study found there was actually a reduced risk of a dementia diagnosis if they were also in the group that consumed the most meat. The findings were published in JAMA Network Open, and the authors say further research is crucial to confirm the observational findings. And there's a new bright spot in Kitchener that has become a safe space for young adults living with dementia, and it's called the Sunshine Lounge. The Sunshine Lounge is located inside the Sunnyside Home and Community Housing on Franklin Street. Inside, you'll meet members of Sunnyside's Young Onset Dementia Association, also known as the YODA program. It serves people under the age of 65 who are living with memory loss. They meet here weekly and can enjoy fun activities based on their interests and hobbies.
And so this is a place where you can come and you can meet other people who are experiencing the same life experiences and be supported to accept those changes, but also to meet other people and develop new friendships that will be there for you as the years and months go on.
At 6, CTV's Heather Centerin will find out how members helped make the space feel like home. So we'll stay tuned for that at the top of the hour when we are back with your next local news. For now, we'll send it over to CTV National. Hope everyone has a great night and a great Easter long weekend. Take care.